Between the months of December and February, extravagant weddings fill the social calendars of Indians. Extending multiple days long, hosting hundreds to thousands of guests, and spending thousands to millions of dollars, these expensive weddings bring together the families and the community with luxurious decorations, meals, and festivities. But why? Why are weddings so expensive? Why do even the poorest of families spend more money than they could ever afford, up to 10 times their income, just on this one simple ceremony? Why do people spend so much money that they are eventually pressured into extreme debt and possible suicide? Simply for social status. And it all begins with the caste system. For thousands of years, socioeconomics in India has been defined by the caste system. Hindus believe that the karma from past lives determines how fortunate a person will be in their next life. This makes it difficult for people to argue with the caste that they were born into, and means that people should only associate with others in the same caste. Castes are split into smaller categories called Vama. Couples are usually arranged to be married by their Vama, which makes the social system even more rigid. Among higher classes, where a significant amount of money is spent on weddings, marriages are closely arranged by both families, and the bride and groom have little choice in who they are going to marry. In lower classes, where dowries are less expensive, people have more choice of who they want to marry. However, they struggle to pay for the expense of the ceremony, which is high due to the traditions of extravagant weddings in India. These expensive weddings are just expected, and if these expectations are not met, the families will be looked down upon and shamed by their community. They shape identities and form social statuses. So, weddings are essential to uphold reputations by publicly showing the world how many social connections a family has, just by how extravagant it is. Indians heavily rely on others' opinions of themselves to form their identities and ranks, which is determined by how many family members and friends they have, and how they publicly display the amount of social connections they have. So weddings are one of the most important public rituals in an Indian's life. Because families in India feel pressured to afford such expensive weddings, many problems arise. The families of the brides are forced to have to borrow money to pay for the wedding ceremony and the super expensive dowry. This has led to suicides of the fathers of the brides and dowry deaths of brides who can't afford to pay their increased dowry price by their own husbands. The United Nations has even named India as the most dangerous place to live in the world for females, not only because of dowry deaths, but also due to the increase of abortion of females, which has become a rising problem in India. Poorer families do not have the ability to pay for the high expenses of weddings, so they look for any possible way to avoid having a daughter. In India, the best procedure that does not require any abortion is nearby in Thailand, where they will screen the embryo before it's implanted in the womb. But this procedure comes at a high cost. Therefore, poorer families have to look for an affordable procedure. That procedure is a cheap ultrasound within India that is only available 13 weeks into pregnancy. Abortion has been legal in India since 1971, but the sex-selective abortions are not, yet still occur because families cannot afford to raise females. However, if abortion is banned, it will result in an increase of girls up to the age of 6 being neglected and a victim of sexist discrimination. And for many families that do end up having females, their daughters are uneducated because there would be no point in providing an education for the daughter if she gets married at a young age. As you can see, there are many faults in Indian wedding traditions due to socioeconomic issues within the country. Caste differences, high expenses and dowries, death and abortion are just some of the few major issues that arise in these marriages. Although every country has its customs and reasons behind their traditions, the stress of Indian weddings has caused major issues within the lives of the brides and their families that don't seem to appear as severe in too many other countries. All of these problems all relate back to the simple ceremony that is meant for celebration of family by creating a domino effect on one another, delving into different branches of deeper and more dangerous issues at hand in India.